We're always concerned at night about our things getting stolen. We lock everything up, but you never can be too safe. It'd be nice if we had an alarm that would let us know if someone was out messing with our stuff. Hey everyone, welcome to Tigner Adventures. My name is David, and we are in our 9th year of full-time RV living. We have been on the road that long. And you know, when you're out there and about, we've had all kinds of interesting things happen, you know, and you're always worried about safety. And if you look here on our rig, you know, we have these lights that come on. They're solar lights that come on automatically. If someone walks up by our rig. We also have video cameras all the way around our rig. So we are a little bit concerned about security. And when we put things out, you know, our chairs, our tables, barbecue and things like that, and our bikes, we always put these big cables on them. They're like 3/8 inch steel cable. But you know, we keep thinking that might be safe. But in the long run, if someone has the right tools, they can just take off with whatever you want. And so I'm really excited about today's sponsor. These guys reached out to us. They're called LETWESAF. And it's a radar motion detector system that alerts you when people come by your rig. And there's all these kind of options that you have with it and everything. So I'm really excited to kind of check this out and see how this works, because, you know, even though we have cameras, people just put a hoodie on and what does your camera catch? It just catches them wandering off with your stuff, right? So at least this way, this will notify us, or at least it's supposed to. So we're going to check that out. We're going to see how good this is and see if this is worth the money to kind of make us safe and feel a lot safer than sometimes you might feel. Okay, they're all charged up, ready to go. The manual is very heavy duty. I've read it now. The pages are really, they're like cardboard almost. So really good condition, put together well here. If you look here on the very first page, the first thing it does is it goes through and it has pictures of each one of the devices with little numbers by each one of the items so that you can get a description of what they are. Operates without a network. So what it means is, by a network, that's what your cell phone is. So it doesn't have to have a cell phone, it doesn't have to have internet or anything to work. They are completely standalone. So they work together themselves. They've got frequencies that are tuned between these, and that's all they're working with. So it doesn't matter if you're out in the middle of nowhere, no cell service, no satellite service, don't matter. They work. So now, the very first time that you use this, it does walk you through how to pair them together. Because we can have 6 of these devices on this one receiver, you have to tie each individual device to the receiver itself. And so it talks about how to pair them. Once that's paired, you don't have to do it anymore. So I've already paired them. They're paired at this point, and so we're ready to go. And we're just going to use these outside. I'm going to show you a couple different options I'm looking at how to use them, and that may work good for you, or it may at least show you how they actually work to see if this might be something that you like. I am about 200 steps, and I figure each one of my steps is a meter, so I'm about 200 meters from our motorhome. It is through all those trees, and we're actually parked in an RV park, so it's parked around a number of RVs. I've turned this sensor on. Ninette is in the motorhome, and so I did some testing and things like that, and she says, yep, it's dinging every time I move out here. So I'm a long ways away, for this, it works a long way from the actual receiver. Now what we need to really do is test how far I can walk, or, you know, how close I can get to this before it actually goes off. But this can be a long ways away from your motorhome or your tent or whatever, and you can't even see it, and it will still work. So that's pretty impressive. That's got a great range on it. I'm really surprised. So, but this is pretty cool. Liking it. It's working out really nice. So I've set the range to its maximum. I'm getting about 60 feet away from my rig. So thought it was like 50 feet, but might not be counting real specific, but anyway, it's working pretty good. I've got the sensor right there below Tansy's cage, and I'm just walking up the side. So that's the side of my rig. I'm just walking down this road here between the RVs. So I'm just going to walk out here, and I'm just slowly walking. So right there. So I'm not quite in the middle, or right in front of it. I'm off to the side a little bit. So I don't know what that is, like 100 degrees or 120 degrees. It's not 180, but I am getting a pretty good view here. So let me back up a little bit. So not bad. I've now come out to the other side of the road. I'm going to walk along here and see if it does basically the same line of sight. Okay, where basically where it was, the line of sight before was. Okay, so I'm kind of getting in front of it now. Oh, there it goes. So now I'm not quite in front of it, but pretty close. So it's like a little bubble. So it's kind of interesting on its detection pattern. It's kind of like a big bubble, and the more in front that I have it stretching out, it's kind of stretching it out that way. So it's making it shrink in just a little bit. But I don't know. Does a pretty decent job. So that's the maximum. I really need to set this now to be where I'm going to have my bikes and my stuff set up. That's what I want to have detected here. So you can see right now we have our barbecuer right there. I have a cable through there. I have our table. We usually have our chairs out here. So I want to set this up so that it's more like right here. So we usually set our bikes right here. So kind of, if I go over here, it's kind of to the edge of the barbecuer there and everything. So I'm going to try setting this up, set the range up. It's a little interesting. If there's any kind of complaint I have about this unit, the instructions, if you follow them exactly what they say, it works perfect. So you can't interpret and think, oh, this is what you're supposed to do, because it says press the button. It means press the button. It doesn't say press and hold the button. I get in trouble with that. So I'll press and hold the button. No, that's not what it said. It said press the button. So anyway, it says on the manual, it says that you've got to select the probe. So in our case, we only have one probe. Okay, I'm going to push the button of the probe I want to set. I'm going to go ahead and just push the probe set button. And then I'm going to walk around this general area here. This is the area I want to have this working on. Not very far away from there. And then I'm going to push the probe set again. And now it turned green. So it turned yellow during that time frame. And so now, right about where the grass ends there is how far supposedly I can walk up to here over there. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the probe on. And so now it's on. Let's just kind of walk around here. So I'm walking around this whole area now. Before it was setting the probe off, so it's not setting it off now. So let's go ahead and walk up here just a little bit closer. Oh, that's about right where I set it. See, I'm almost on the grass there. So let's come back this way. Let's get back away from here a little bit. And okay, so I'm going to walk over here by the barbecuer. Oh. So now it's alarming right here. So let's go out this way just a little bit further. Don't know how far away from the barbecuer we have to be or close. But now I'm coming up to this side of it. Oh, so I can get right here. I didn't walk around this other side of it when I was setting it. So, okay. So it looks like I actually set my boundary to be right here. So right here at the edge of the thing. So that's great as far as the bikes would be concerned, but I think if I walk here and on this side, yeah, so now let me, oh, see now I go right past it. Oh, that's pretty darn accurate, because that's where I walked up to. I thought it would kind of give me a bigger bubble than that, but it's not. So I got to include my bubble to have the whole barbecue in there. Otherwise, that kind of defeats that whole purpose, doesn't it? But hey, this is pretty cool. I like this. I like how it's working. It's you know, it's working pretty cool. And you know, one of the things I like about this that I think is a pretty cool idea is that you've got all these selectors on here, right, for different probes, so 6 probes. But you can turn just by pushing one of those, and then down here it says on and off. So if I probe on and off, if I push that, it now blinks and it turned that probe off. So it just beeped. So now if I walk over here, it doesn't set this probe off. So I can turn this on and off anytime I want. So if people are like we're here having a party, I can turn it off. If we're getting up in the morning and we're going to go out and do things, I can just turn it off, right? I don't have to physically go get the device itself. And all I've done right now is it's got these little holder spots right here, and I've just put some Velcro around there just to kind of hold that right there. But I kind of want to test it and everything, and then I'm going to start using that 3M thing because you can actually mount it more permanent. Well, that's definitely pretty impressive. So the receiver and the transmitter. So the receiver will last up to about 200 hours under standard conditions for the battery life, and the transmitter will last about 60 hours on the transmitter life, so you can just turn it on and off as you want and then charge it when you have time. So I don't know, that's, you know, just for my initial look at it and everything, I'm pretty impressed. And so I'm going to try this out a lot more, but this is a pretty neat idea. I like it, I really do. So this is pretty cool. I'm going to put a link in our description below, and it's going to be on we're going to put it on our Amazon page. So if you're interested in looking at it, check it out, because, you know, it's pretty impressive. So anyway, thanks for coming along with this little test drive, and I want to thanks again to LETWESAF for sponsoring this video. We appreciate them sending this for us to check out and everything. It's a pretty cool little setup, and I'm pretty excited about continuing using it. So anyway, with that said, we'll just say our goodbyes. So we'll hopefully see you down the road somewhere, and if not, we'll see you on another one of our videos. So take care.